All right guys, welcome back to the Roberts Homestead and How-Tos. I hope you enjoyed our video on how to open your swimming pool. But just like anything else on a farm or at home, when you're a homeowner, stuff breaks, stuff doesn't work right. So we've got another issue with the pool. Stay tuned and I'll show you what we're gonna do. So after we got the pool opened and we were cleaning it up and we got the water nice and clear, we were testing the chemical levels, testing all of our pHs and chlorine and all that stuff. And I noticed that we had 0 chlorine in the pool. So I came over here and checked our salt cell and the box on the wall. And about half the time I was getting a no flow error on the box. And the other half of the time it seemed to be working, but it obviously wasn't because it wasn't producing chlorine. So we checked the actual salt cell itself and the pump was working fine, the heater was working fine, the filter was working fine, everything was working. There was plenty of flow, so there was no reason for it to not be working. But there are a couple of reasons that it might not detect flow when there is proper flow. Now, if you don't have proper water flow going through your system, then that's a different issue you need to fix. But if you know you do have proper water flow going through everything and your salt cell still isn't working, then there's 2 cheap and easy fixes that hopefully is the cause of your issue and hopefully it's the cause of our issue. And we're gonna try to fix one or both of those today. And if those don't fix, or if those don't work, then it's probably going to be something very expensive. So first thing you need to do, you need to come down here. Now this actually looks, if I can get a close view, this actually looks like it's working right now. You should be able to see water flowing through the system and you should see some bubbling going on, some cloudiness or some bubbling. If you see that, then it should be working because that's the chlorine gas making those bubbles. You can also go to your pool and usually the first jet, not all the jets, we have 3, but the first jet that comes from the line, there should be some bubbles coming out of that as well. That's just the chlorine gas that the salt cell should be producing. Now, when we first opened the pool, we had 0 chlorine in the pool. There were no bubbles anywhere. So it's trying to work right now. To fix the initial chlorine problem with the zeros being level, we did go ahead and add liquid chlorine to the pool just as if we were a normal chlorine and not a saltwater pool. And for you pool owners that have a saltwater pool, that is totally fine, that is totally safe. You're not going to screw anything up. Just make sure you put in the proper amount, put in a little bit at a time and keep checking and keep checking. Don't overdo it because then it's a pain to lower those chlorine levels. All right, so for the 2 possible fixes for this issue, the first one is this flow switch right here. So all this is, you should see somewhere along your system, there should be something that looks like this with a cable that comes out of this and goes all the way up to your box, and it just plugs underneath here, and it looks like this. Looks like an old landline phone cable, and if you don't know what a landline phone cable is, then well, you're probably pretty young. So that could be the issue because these things are, it's just a cheap little piece of plastic that detects the water flowing through the system. And if those break, everything that I've seen on that, if those break, they usually last 2 to 3 years and it's just not going to detect flow. If it's not detecting the flow of water, then the salt cell is not going to work. So the other fix, which we're going to do right now, could be that your salt cell is just dirty. There's just scale buildup on the cell itself, and that just needs to be cleaned off. Now, you check your manual. Our manual with our system says that this salt cell should be cleaned every quarter. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. We're going to do that first. I have a flow switch ordered. It should be here today. I may just go ahead and replace it anyway, but if this cleaning of the salt cell works, then we won't have to worry about the flow switch. But I wanted to have it just in case. Like I said, better safe than sorry. All right, so let's go over a few items that you're going to need in order to clean your salt cell. So safety first, you definitely want a pair of gloves and goggles, because in order to do this, we're going to be messing around with muriatic acid. And the vapors from that acid are pretty intense. You don't want that getting in your eyes, and you don't want to be inhaling that because it's pretty strong stuff. Now, if you don't have one of these, you don't have to have one of these in order to clean your salt cell, but it is going to make life a whole lot easier. I will link this in the description below. It's simply just a stand so that when we remove the salt cell, it's going to hold it. It's also got an O-ring here so that nothing's going to leak out. If you don't have this and you don't want to get this, you can just use a 5-gallon bucket or a big jug of some kind. But whether you have the stand or not, we're still going to use this bucket a little bit later. Some lubricant for the O-ring, you're going to need that as well as the O-rings on the salt cell itself. And of course, you want to make sure that you're testing all your levels before and after you do this. So we're going to take this out back and we're going to get started. So anytime you're going to be working on your pool equipment, safety is key. So what we're going to do first before we dive into this is we're going to shut off the power. So go to your box. We're going to be shutting off the pump and the salt system and the heater. Just shut it all off. Then come on over here. And first thing we're going to do is you should have 2 rings on either side, and we're going to loosen those up. Now, I have seen some people use a tool to help you unloosen, and I've also seen them use that same tool to tighten this. I would highly recommend against that. You do not want to crush these connections. If you end up cracking that or making any kind of break in the system, then you're going to have to redo this PVC, and that's just going to be a big headache. When I loosen this up, it's going to have some water leaking out, so just be prepared for that. You're just going to come over here. I'm going to loosen this up. Do both sides. Alright, so once you get your salt cell off, you're going to want to look down in there and you can see those little plastic fins. Now, ours actually don't look that bad, so I don't think that's the cause of the issue. I've seen some of these that are terrible. They're all caked over with salty scale. Those definitely need to be cleaned, but there is some grime, there is some grit in there, so we're going to clean this and hopefully it'll make a difference. Alright, so like I said, with this base, it comes with an O-ring, but before we get started, you're going to want to get some lubrication on that O-ring so that it's going to make a nice seal. So just take a dollop of that and spread it all around the O-ring. Try not to make a huge mess, but you're going to get this stuff everywhere. And once you get that on the O-ring, just plop it back down in the base, and then we're going to attach the salt cell to the base so that it doesn't leak and it can hold the acid and the water mixture that we're going to do next. Alright, so depending upon your salt cell, it may make a difference on which side you put up and which side you attach to the base. Ours, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So again, this just screws on. Get this on hand tight because you don't want it leaking. And with that O-ring, we should be good to go. Now, you're going to want to be careful when you do this because like I said, the vapors from this acid is very strong. So you can mix the water and the acid and then pour it in, or what we're going to do is I'm going to fill this about halfway up with water first, and then I'm going to dump the acid in. But before I even start to mess with the acid, I'm going to put the gloves and the goggles on and then go from there. Alright, so I went ahead and filled this up about halfway with water. Now, there's a couple of reasons I like doing it that way as opposed to mixing the water and the acid first and then pouring it in. One is I can make a mess with the water. I can spill it on the concrete, so in case I do accidentally spill the acid, the surface of this concrete is already diluted a little bit with the water, and you're not going to get etching and spotting and staining from the acid on your concrete. So that's number one. Number two is I like to see if I've got a good seal with this base and if I'm leaking water. If I am leaking water, then I know I don't have a good seal and I don't want to have acid in here leaking everywhere as well. Alright, so now we are ready to add the acid. All we're going to do is we're going to pour that in slowly until we fill up this container, and you should see it start to bubble. So I'm going to try to do this while holding the camera. Be very careful of those fumes. You do not want to get that in your face. Alright, so basically you're just looking for those bubbles to stop. And once they do, then you know that the acid is done working. So now is when you're going to need your 5-gallon bucket. What you should do is put a little bit of water in the bucket, and we're just simply going to empty the contents of the acid water mixture into this bucket of water, which is going to dilute it just a little bit more. Once we're done with that, we're going to fill this up 1 or 2 more times with fresh water just to help rinse that out. We're going to dump all of that water into the bucket, and then we're just going to take this to the pool, dump it in the pool. The amount of acid in this whole job is not going to be enough to affect the pH of the pool, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so simply replace the salt cell like it was before. Tighten these back up, but before you do, you also have black little O-rings on either side in each of these connections. Rub your finger around those O-rings to make sure there's no dirt, no debris. If you pull your finger back and there's some black residue, it's actually time to replace those O-rings. If not, just go ahead and lubricate those up just like I showed you before with the other O-ring, and then tighten these up and turn everything back on. Alright, so now that we have everything turned back on, what you are looking for is you want some cloudiness and or some bubbles. As we can see, we do have some bubbles forming there. So overall, I think the cleaning went well. We're going to let this run on quick clean for an hour or so. Then I'll come back and check to see if everything's working properly. If not, like I said, I've got this flow switch coming in the mail today, and we'll replace that if we have to. One last thing, after you tighten these O-rings and you get these connections back on hand tight, you definitely want to sit here for a little bit as the pump is running to make sure that there's no leaks at either connection. If you do have a leak, you need to readjust your connections just to make sure that they're tight and secure. If there are no leaks, then you should be good to go. Alright, so we just got done swimming for a few hours, and sure enough, this came in. Here is the flow switch that I was telling you about. This is it, guys. It's just like a 25-foot phone cable. All you do is you unscrew the existing one. It's got this little plastic ring on it, this little O-ring. But all it is this little sensor right here that as water flows through, it knocks that down. Now again, these don't last that long, 2 to 3 years maybe. I think our system is working fine now with cleaning the salt cell, so I am not going to install this today. And guys, if I was going to replace this, it's very simple. Just unscrew this cap, place this back in, screw it in. You have to be careful though. On the top of this flow switch, there is an arrow indicator telling you which direction the water should flow. You want to match that up with the direction that your water's flowing, otherwise it's not gonna work properly. But I'm glad I have it on hand. That way, if I do need it, I will have it. I just got to keep an eye on the chlorination, the percentage on the box, and I'm just going to keep testing the water as I always do anyways, just to make sure our chlorine levels are where they need to be. Now, if for whatever reason those chlorine levels start to drop and I don't see the bubbles in the salt cell, then I'll probably go ahead and replace this. But I haven't got, I've not seen a no flow error on the box since doing all this, so hopefully that has resolved the issue. I'm not seeing a ton of bubbles in the salt cell right now or out of the jet, but I'm not too worried about that since the chlorine levels are fine. So this should detect that and know that it doesn't need a lot of chlorine right now, so it shouldn't be producing a lot of chlorine. So hopefully it's just working as intended. But as a few days or weeks go by and the liquid chlorine fades away and does its thing, this should kick in and start producing the chlorine. So again, it's just something you need to keep an eye on. So there you have it, 2 very easy ways to fix the no flow error, or if you have no chlorine being produced in your pool. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. Hopefully you won't see a video of me installing this, but if we need to, I guess I'll make one. We'll see you next time.